It's another great opportunity that we are hosting special guests in our studio today. And let me just briefly tell you of what is actually happening in Kenya right now. From Kisumu, Kenya, we are having the Afri-Cities Summit, the 9th Afri-Cities Summit. And we would like to tell our viewers that we appreciate the overwhelming support we got from you guys. And then the other thing is, please, we found out that there are some unscrupulous bloggers who decided to take our videos and said that we are charging viewers. Please, if anyone is telling you that particular information when you are logging or you are trying to subscribe, tell them that is not KDR TV. Let's go back again now to our topic of introducing our guests in the studio today. I have a special guest here on my right-hand side, Bwana Ireri, who is the chairman for Minnesota UDA chapter or Kenya Kwanza Alliance. Then on my far right, or next to him, we have Bwana Anthony Kibagendi from Kisii. He'll have his opportunity to introduce himself later. And then we have
Azimio as well.
For Azimio as well. Okay, thank you. Okay, I thought you were still in UDA. So okay, and then my far right, we have Dr. John Makori, who is the chairman for Azimio Minnesota. So before that particular, before they introduce themselves, let's see exactly what was happening in Kirinyaga and briefly in Kisumu today.
Baba kama wantie wangimende magodie matino, wangimende magodie manolo. Awali kutoka wacho. Adui mando uwe, wangimende matino, magodie.
Thank you. Welcome again to KDR TV studios. Now we want to get some good introduction from our guests. So let's start with Dr. John Makori. Can you please give a brief introduction of yourself and what you are, especially which party do you belong to or which coalition do you belong to in Kenya? Go ahead, Dr. Makori.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Kibwato and the entire KDR TV team for having me and the team here as your guests this afternoon. We are very much honored to be here. As you said, earlier, my name is Dr. John Makori. I'm the Azimio La Umoja Minnesota chapter here in Minnesota. I'm the chair, and with me here, I also have a very special guest. And before I introduce him, I think you said very well that I should talk about myself a little bit. I think, as I've been saying before, we've been around for quite some time. We've been, as I've always said, Baba diehards, and I always said Baba diehards, meaning that we are for integrity and fair elections in Kenya, and we only know that the only person who can offer us that is Baba himself, the fifth. So I have been around for quite a while in this political arena. We've moved from NASA, I was in ODM, we have been championing the cause here in the diaspora for quite a while. And finally now we are in Azimio. So we have been pushing around for the registration of voters. We have been pushing down for the Azimio agenda from the diaspora here in Minnesota and all over. And I'm glad KDR TV has been offering us some time once in a while to come to the studios and have our viewers listen to what we have to offer. As I was saying, Mr. Kibwato, is that with me today I have a special guest whom as soon as he got his nominations, the ODM nominations, to vie as a member of parliament, Kitutu Chache South, most of the diaspora, there were a lot of requests from the diaspora for him to come and visit. Most of the youth, especially from Minnesota, New Jersey, Delaware, we are very excited for Mr. Kibagendi. We are very excited for your nominations as an ODM and the Azimio fraternity at large.
Thank you.
So we are very grateful to have you here in Minnesota. I know you have been to Delaware, you have been to New Jersey, and finally you are here in Minnesota. So everybody's looking forward, I think, to hear what you have to offer this coming Saturday. Especially, we know you as a very, very vibrant strategist, especially with the youth. And we are glad to have you. I know sometimes somebody might have just confused you a little bit to go to go to youth here, but finally you are back home.
Yes.
So feel welcome in Minnesota.
Thank you.
And I know we'll have to hear more from you. Thank you so much.
Asante.
So,
before even I forget, you know,
yes.
before I forget, you know, we have our Minnesota way of welcoming you.
Yeah.
So I brought a small gift from my team that they said when you're on the studios of KDR TV, you have to wear our special flag. This is I have to say, let me say hi to you.
Yeah.
And then I will give you the Azimio flag in a special way.
Thank
so
you.
That you can wear it. Now I think you
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Asante.
So I can also put mine so that we can look like the Azimio in the house.
The Azimio in the house.
Thank you.
But we have an odd one out here.
Oh.
Actually, you know, it's not that odd because we're just lending him to you in the meantime.
Well,
Now Azimio get there. He's a UDA.
so he assured me a while ago that we might bring him on board, so I have another one waiting for you.
Now we never have.
That is good.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for that. So before we continue, let's get an introduction from our gentleman here. Go ahead. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Kibwato, and to the KDR TV fraternity for always accommodating us to come and talk issues that affect us here as diasporans, as Kenyans, and as people who want to make change. My name is Samuel Ireri. I'm the Minnesota chairman for UDA and also a Kenya Kwanza diaspora leader. And on the diaspora views, we just want to make sure that all diasporans understand what is at stake here. I do very well want to thank my counterparts here, starting with the chairman of Azimio, for him agreeing to come and face fire today. And I was trying to make sure that we can even convince him to come back. And, you know, we did lend Honorable Kibagendi to you. And I hope you treat him well, because we treated him very well. And we said, you know what? We are all Kenyans. So if we can share our brains a little bit, our energy, that whatever we taught him, you know, come and teach us. We're all Kenyans at the end of the day. So I'm looking forward to this conversation. And, you know, all our viewers, especially our Kenya Kwanza viewers, and all the Kenyans. I also want to pass my condolences to our incoming Deputy President. We know today they had the funeral of the late brother of Rigathi Gachagua. So we just want to say pole from the diaspora at large. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now, last but not least, Bwana Anthony Kibagendi.
Thank
Do
you.
your introduction, please.
Thank you so much, Bwana Kibato, and of course the KDR TV. You guys are doing a wonderful job. The machines you have here in a wonderful studio, it's slightly better than most of the studios we have in Kenya. So I'm glad to be back to this studio, and I'm happy that we have these two gentlemen here who are leaders of the various coalitions we have in Kenya with me in studio, and they've demonstrated that they are friends. They are able to do politics and leave it at that, and they still have friendship beyond just politics. So I'm happy to be here and looking forward to this debate. Of course, like my chairman here said, they invited me over to the diaspora, to the United States, to come and be able to interact with the community, especially in Delaware, New Jersey, New York, in Maryland, and of course now I'm in Minnesota. I'll be here up to Saturday, when we'll be having a major event on Saturday with the bigger team of diasporans. It doesn't have to be Azimio or UDA. We are just coming together as Kenyans to be able to interact and get to understand the issues that affect us as Kenyans back home. And I'll also be listening to them on issues they would want us to present to the party leader of Azimio, that's Raila Amolo Odinga, so that we are able to have the diaspora involved in the leadership of our country. Given that they are the biggest, they send a lot of money, they support a lot of communities, they have a lot of what I can call dependents back home. So we'll be having a conversation on Saturday, and of course, I'll take that opportunity to also seek support for my parliamentary seat, and we'll be able to share the locations and addresses of where we'll be meeting on Saturday later tomorrow. So I'm happy to be here and looking forward to the conversation around the issues you had mentioned, to the extent that I need to clear the air. This gentleman here, Sami Reri, is trying to create a perception like I'm on loan to Azimio. To Azimio. You know, he needs to know that mimi ni kijana wa baba for a long time. Of course, in 2017, things happened, and I switched a little, and now I'm back. I'm back home. Just like the prodigal son, the way he was welcomed back home. That is why my brother here, my senior and my chairman, is really glad to welcome me back home.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now let's start with Sam.
Yes.
Bwana Sam Ireri.
Yes, sir.
You guys have been bombarding the Azimio team to choose or to give a nod to Kalonzo Musyoka to be the running mate for Raila Amolo Odinga. So what impetus does Martha Karua bring to Azimio from your own perspective? Because you guys wanted Kalonzo Musyoka. So what happened?
All right, thank you, Mr. Kibato. That's a very good question, actually. What I want to say, and correct you a little bit, is not that we wanted Kalonzo Musyoka to be the deputy president of the running mate for Azimio. All we were saying is, even as humans, everybody needs to be treated well. You need to be given the respect that due. For example, in Kenya Kwanza, we do respect the Prime Minister, the former Prime Minister. We want to make sure that when we're sending home him to Bondo, we want to send him with a good package, because he's done a lot for Kenya.
The package, Kalonzo?
And also make sure that even if they were going to go home with Kalonzo, also Kalonzo does deserve the best for what he has done for Kenya too. He has done a lot, so we are not disparaging that. All we were saying is respect the man, what he has done. If he was to come to our side, definitely he'll be granted that respect. In as much as we will still go with Gachagua as our deputy president, we would have given him a fair shot for him to come and say, what does he bring to the table? So that's all we were talking about. Actually, we are very, very glad that Martha Karua is a running mate. I do want to applaud the Azimio, because, you know, they're trying to elevate the women in Kenya. But all I'm saying is one thing. If we are really looking at elevating women, because that's the key talking point that they're having right now, when you go to any bloggers on Azimio side, they're all saying it's about the women vote. We appreciate the women vote. And that's why when you look at Kenya Kwanza, especially when you look at the coalition agreement, we are saying 50% of the government is to the women, all right? And one of the key things that makes us very different, like day and light, is we are very transparent. When it comes to our coalition, you can see all our coalition's documents have been out there. we haven't even seen what will be Mother Karua's role as a deputy president out there, right? So is she going to be a flower girl, or is she going to be given a role whereby she's respected as a deputy president? And bearing in mind, Raila has said that he's going to follow on Uhuru's footsteps. He's going to accomplish what Uhuru did. We all saw what Uhuru did to the deputy president. Is that what she's going to face? And that's why the people of Kirinyaga are so worried that their daughter is just going to be used and misused. You saw the reception that she got in Kirinyaga the other day, right? So that's what we're looking at. And in Kenya Kwanza, we're very different. We're very democratic. You did see how our processes, how our nominations went through. So that's the kind of government that we're looking forward to, and make sure that we know for sure that Kenya Kwanza is forming government. But when they're in opposition, we also want to make sure that Mother Karua will also still be treated well, as same as Kalonzo. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, let me before I ask you another question, let Mr. John react to that before we give the microphone to Dr. Kibageni. I mean, Mr. Kibageni. Dr. Makori, do you agree what Bwana Samirel is trying to say?
Thank you, Mr. You know, you can even see that I really want to chip in from what my colleague has just said.
Yes.
You know, he's been my friend for a long time. And,
Sure.
You know, friendship goes long, and but when it comes to politics and the agenda we have for our country,
Yes.
we differ on that aspect. What I would like to tell him in Azimio la Umoja, and especially in Kenya right now, in the world, we are not here about elevating women. The women are already up to the job. So when we chose Martha as our VP, she's already to the job. Martha is a qualified candidate, and I think this is why it has really sent shockwaves to Kenya Kwanza. They are, as you can see, they are really shocked, and most of them don't even know what to do right now. They're running helter-skelter everywhere. So Martha is the really deal that we've gotten in Kenya. We didn't get her because she's a woman. It's because she's qualified for that job. And first of all, actually, maybe I started answering him. I wanted to thank our incoming president, the fifth, Raila Amolo Odinga, for having taken that opportunity to choose Martha as the running mate with all the qualifications. You guys, Kenya is at a crossroad. Look at the choice. You know, you can't compare. It's like daylight and night. There's no way you can compare putting thieves in power and putting people who are fighting for corruption, who have a record, a straight record of fighting for corruption, fighting for a fair Kenya, fighting for an equitable Kenya. So this is the best team that we have ever got. And I'm not saying that Kalonzo is, in fact, what happened is that in Azimio we had the best team. People like Kalonzo were qualified. We have all of them. Peter Kenneth, all these people were qualified. If you look at their track record, they're qualified. But there has always to be one who can be chosen. So that's why we ended up choosing Martha Karua. But Kalonzo was equally qualified. And that is why we're trying to appeal to Kalonzo that we still have enough space. We still need him. His energy is needed in Azimio la Umoja. So we are not scared. And I think, as from what I've heard from people, Kalonzo is still in support of Baba the Fifth. We will still be working with him so that we put Baba in State House. So, as my colleague has tried to be saying that Kenya Kwanza is organized, I think that is just a perception they are putting out there, which is not existent. You've seen how Martha Karua has been received in Kirinyaga. You've seen how Martha Karua was received in Kisumu today. It's a blast, and everybody is talking about it. So this is what we needed, and Baba's done it for us. I think I'll come later and explain to him.
Thank you very much. So let's get the perspective from Bwana Kibagendi. Bwana Kibagendi, what do you think? I mean, what impetus does Martha Karua bring to the equation of Azimio la Umoja and to their opponent? Let me not say opposition, because that is what the Azimio people saying now. They have already relegated the Kenya Kwanza alliance as opposition. So what's your perspective?
Wonderful. You know, Martha Karua has an exceptional CV in terms of her reform agenda. She's one of the women we know in that country that has stood the test of time in terms of pushing for constitutional changes that have brought about the liberties that we have today. She was involved in the changing of the constitution that we have today, that we the one that we started using in the year 2010. And you know, as an Iron Lady, she's one of the few who has dared to run for president before. These credentials make her, give her the befitting position of a deputy president. And her coming into Azimio has given us an edge over our opponents, in the sense that beyond just the community she comes from, she has excited the women folk across the country, irrespective of tribe. Yeah? And if you look at the kind of excitement Kamala Harris brought to the Joe Biden campaign, that is what has happened to the campaign, the Azimio la Umoja fraternity. Kenya Kwanza are frightened, yeah, that we have caused this kind of excitement in a very short time, yeah, and that is why they continually talk about Martha Karua and try to belittle her credentials, try to belittle her what I can call the kind of power she carries around with her. And you'll be able to tell that Kenyans have come of age, and even from the Constitution, we have been talking about the 2/3 gender rule, and this has been demonstrated by the political coalition that we belong in, which is Azimio la Umoja. And you need to know that ODM, even before this, has consistently been championing issues of women. And that is why they thought it wise to bring Martha Karua on board. And bringing Martha Karua on board is not disrespecting our senior and former Vice President, Kalonzo Musyoka. He has a role to play. Because of his experience, he has been given the Chief Minister's position. And that position will be able to help him tower over the other ordinary CSs and other government officials, and give the necessary experience that he has, ensure government runs the right way. He has been what I can call leader of majority or leader of government business in parliament. He has been a deputy president, and now he's going to be the chief minister. That will give Azimio la Umoja an edge of our opponents who are in Kenya Kwanza. And I would like to tell you this. Martha Karua, in a few weeks back, she went with our honorable, the 5th Raila Amolo Odinga, to Kirinyaga. She was in Kutus, she was in Kerugoya, she was in Kirinyaga town. And I can tell you the reception that time was not as ecstatic and exciting like what we saw today. You know, Kenya Kwanza are people that have are obsessed with creating propaganda. They are using old videos to demonstrate that today Martha Karua wasn't well received back home, which is not true. Martha Karua, the excitement you could see yesterday across the country, women were celebrating across the country. People in Mount Kenya were celebrating that the deputy president, a woman, is coming from Mount Kenya. And women from across the country, including where I come from, in Kisii, were celebrating. And that demonstrates that people have been hungry to be able to see that a woman can be given such a position of responsibility. You need to be reminded that Kenya has shown leadership in providing women with such positions, with positions that are close to this. You know, the leader of the judiciary is a lady. We have governors that are women, and now we have a deputy president aspirant who is a woman, and I'm certain all these women, and if you look at all the influential women, they've been pushing the agenda of Martha Karua. That means they'll step out there and influence the voters to be able to vote for this coalition. It is a very special thing for me, having been raised by a single mom, yeah? And Martha Karua, we know she has been a single mom, and she's been out there working hard to ensure her kids go to school, to ensure she has a career both as an advocate and as a politician, and it has really inspired very many women, especially young women who want to stand up for their and take up their space, because women in Martha Karua's age, a majority of them, some of them were kind of downtrodden, and some of them decided to take a back seat, yeah? But the emerging leaders in every sphere of our community, of our society, she has really provided inspiration that will push these people to take up those leadership positions.
Thank you very much. Bwana Ireri,
Yes.
what's your reaction to
All
what
right.
Dr. Makori and Bwana Kibagendi have said?
Thank you, thank you. Let me comment on that. You know, there's this issue Honorable Kibagendi here just addressed about Kenya Kwanza, we're creating this euphoria and propaganda. We do give respect to Mother Karua. She's done a lot to the country, all right? When we go back to the Constitution, we go back to fighting for multi-party and all that. She was a champion. She's actually, even when she ran, you could tell how many votes that she got, that she is a formidable force in Kenya. And a lot of our women look upon what she has done and want to you know, imitate that and be better. What we are saying in Kenya Kwanza is this: if we are talking about women issues and we want to champion women, right? We just don't look at one position that's given to a woman. We just don't look like, oh, she's given the deputy president a position and that's done. What we are saying is this: yes, for example, we went with Mr. Gachagua because it's politics. We understand politics is about numbers, right? And we said, guess what? Even if we don't have a deputy president who's a woman, we have positions whereby half of our government that we have committed, the fifth president, the incoming fifth president, William Ruto, has said that half of his government is going to be run by women. It's not just you know, the two-third gender rule. We are saying half of our government is being done, is going to be run by women. We are giving women more opportunities. In as much as we don't have that deputy president who's a woman, we have given them power to run the country. And that's a very different thing from what they're talking about. They're talking about, yes, we have given women a deputy president, or look at Kamala Harris. If you look at Joe Biden's cabinet, and you look at the, if we have to reference that, and you look at the cabinet that he has, the women representation that has been there, and the face of America that has been there, that is what we're duplicating in Kenya. And as we've put it in writing, all right? Mm-hmm. It's not that as something that we're talking about. We have put it in writing. It's something we have committed to. If they were serious about gender issues, they should commit that in writing. They should come back and tell the Kenyan people, if you elect us, this is what we're going to do for the women.
Let me take
the other thing, let me just talk about one thing that we've talked about, that they're talking about the reception and all that.
Yes.
We all know he's a politician. He's running for elections. He understands what numbers are. If we look, Mother Karua is a party leader of one of the biggest parties in Kenya. It's among the top 5 parties in Kenya, right? If I was to ask Honorable Kibagendi here, and my senior here, doctor, what is Mother Karua bringing to the table? Because we're not just looking at the women vote, right? We're looking at herself as a person now, as an individual, all right? Because she's also a leader. We're not going to cut the cloth and say, oh, guess what? Because she's a woman, she's not a leader. She is a leader of a major political party. How many members of parliament does she have that she can bring to the table? How many MCAs does she have? How many governors does she have? Herself, if we rank according to Kirinyaga, when she was wanting to run for Kirinyaga, as an individual now, she could even beat Ngirishi, you know? In as much as we have Waiguru, who's topping that governorship, Ngirishi will beat her to the time. So that's why we're looking at, in as much Azimio is always leading from behind, whereby they're waiting Kenya Kwanza to do things, and then they lead from behind. They want to see what we've done, then they copy. We go to even agreements. They can even show people the agreements that they have with all the coalition members. We have seen how that government, that's a foresight of how that government, if Kenyans were to make a mistake and elect them, the kind of government that we'll get. In Kenya Kwanza, it's very transparent. We're championing youth. Look at how many people were running for nominations as youth in Kenya Kwanza. You can't compare that to the Azimio la Umoja. The women that were running in Kenya Kwanza for nominations, you can't compare that to the Azimio, which means that we're giving the youth, we're giving the women the opportunities to do that. And of all that, also look at the diasporans that are going back home. Look at the diasporans, and this is a very important thing dear to my heart, and why I chose and why I'm giving and sacrificing myself to be the diaspora leader here is because we understand what diasporans have gone through, right? look at the commitments that both coalitions have given to the diasporans. We have, in writing, a commitment from Kenya Kwanza that, number one, the first thing they will do, they will create a diasporan ministry. Have we seen that even from Azimio? No. So when we come to issues, we just don't want to talk about issues. We want to make sure that they're put down and we commit to our people.
Thank you, thank you. I think Bwana Kibagendi wants to comment on that.
My brother here is asking, what is Martha Karua bringing to the table?
Yes.
You know, Martha Karua is an integral leader in our community, in our country. What she brings to the table is not just numbers. She brings what we call legitimacy. Legitimacy because she's a leader with an impeccable career, respectable, who has not been involved in corruption. Number two, she brings integrity that goes hand in hand with what I've called legitimacy. Number three, now in terms of numbers, she is from Mount Kenya and she has run before. The number of votes she got in Kirinyaga is not the number of votes Honorable Rigathi Gachagua got in Madira. That should be able to tell you that. Number three, she has what I can call name and face recognition nationally because of her long service in the public service in terms of the elective positions she has held. So she brings with her the name and face recognition that you need in politics. Beyond that, she brings in the women folk, yeah, to be able to demonstrate that women can also actually lead. So she is a multifaceted addition to the Azimio la Umoja coalition. And there is the other thing my brother here is talking about. Kenya Kwanza said they are forming a ministry of
diaspora.
There is nothing like that. Nobody can do that. Yeah, it is not there. It cannot be done. You can only have a desk or officers that serve the diaspora. And I believe probably they may be doing that. But in Azimio, you can tell. The other day when we were, our party leader came to Washington, D.C. And then he left because of Kibaki's burial. He had to leave. He left behind a battalion of his generals that went across the United States, a few states, and they gathered the necessary ideas, the necessary policies they would, diasporans would want to see changed, you know, and stuff like that. And I want to tell you that the opportunities that our coalition Azimio offers the diaspora back home are enormous. They may not know that in Azimio la Umoja, one of the major things we are looking at doing is dealing with the housing issues, housing deficit that we have in the country. And the housing projects, Kenya needs about 1 million houses, yeah? And this 1 million houses, the government has, can I say, borrowed too much from especially the East, that is from China, and even from parts of Europe. Now there's an opportunity for diasporans to come together, form their circles, form their chamas, come to Kenya, work together with our Foreign Affairs Ministry. Remember, we'll be having a diaspora desk whereby yourselves here, whether you're in Azimio and Kenya Kwanza, you can form, when we form government, that is. I heard him talk about the 5th president, and I was wondering, does he really understand what's going on back in Kenya? They'll be the 5th opposition leader. But now, the opportunities
we know where your president belongs.
Now, the opportunities that Azimio la Umoja offers, number one, in the housing projects, we have a deficit. And if you come together, you form a group, you have resources, let's say $2 million or $200 million, whatever amount, you come to government, they'll be able to allocate you some fraction of that project, where government gives you a guarantee that you do this project within this time. We hope Kenyans will buy it within this time, and if they don't, then government will take care of that, yeah, so that government can continue selling the projects. That is one. Number two, the ideas that you people have been sharing on issues to do with food security. You know, the US has a huge population, but one of the cheapest things we have in this country is food, yeah? So we would also want your ideas and your knowledge on issues to do with food security. Yeah, it's a wonderful opportunity. The other thing that most of you are involved in, including my brother here, is in the health sector. There are enormous opportunities in Kenya in terms of the opportunities that come in line with matters to do with healthcare, from regular hospitals, consultancy, nursing. You know, here you call them practitioners, over there we call them consultants. The opportunities are there because, you know, we have a deficit. So we have unlimited opportunities for diasporans back home. Beyond that, yeah, there are other regular businesses that you can get involved in, private businesses, that is. It doesn't have to be with government. And the coalition of Azimio is going to make it easy for registration of businesses, issues to do with tax registration and payments and stuff like that, easy for be more accessible. We'll have desks for diaspora, and so that it is done, it is hastened, and people can actually invest. I know my brother here, John, is burning to say something.
I just wanted to add something. Thank God you've really brought up most of the things, so I'm not going to repeat most of what you've said.
Yes.
But just to answer my brother Ireri, I don't know whether he's forgetting so quick. You know, when he says, I get surprised when he says that Kenya Kwanza has an agenda for women, and this is the coalition that you've seen how the perception of women have been viewed even in the campaigns. You see women being viewed as symbols or bottoms up, dancing all over in their rallies. And you call that a coalition that is going to take women seriously, where they take them, women as how they dress. They talk about using Western hotels, some room where women go. And you take that coalition will take women seriously? You want to tell me that the Kenya Kwanza will take women agenda seriously than the Azimio la Umoja? That one, I think you can take.
That is an allegation which has not been proved.
So,
Yeah.
As much as these allegations,
Yeah.
the perceptions that people have seen how the women are used in the campaign, in the Kenya Kwanza, when you see it, that is what comes out, as much as it's an allegation. And the other thing I wanted to tell you about, just to take you back about our candidate, our running mate, Martha Karua. My colleague is trying to put her down that because we're using her, because she's a woman, because that is not what we are doing. She was equal to the job. That number one, she was equal to the job. And number two, some people, the Kwanza people, Kenya Kwanza people are trying to downplay, oh, in Kenya there's no women voters, there's nothing like women voters, women power. But let me tell you, today I was talking to my sister. My sister called one of her teacher friends. She's a Kikuyu from Rongai, Nakuru. She was actually praying for Martha Karua. I could not believe it. She was saying, "Oh, I've been working and looking for this for a long time." She was like, "I want to see when Martha Karua is in this car, the chase cars are running after Martha Karua as the VP." So this is what I'm telling you: the impact of Martha Karua has been felt countrywide. So when you talk about votes, don't just look at them as just Mount Kenya. Look at these votes as how they've been spread out nationally now. And if the polls are taken today, and I believe tomorrow, and you will be seeing the polls, yes, you will see this impact. And this is what has hit Kenya Kwanza in a big way. You know, you can't compare this. You know, look at what is happening right now. Anybody, I have a case, you saw Mutua the other day, you had some allegations that the conditions he gave for his cases to be dropped. So when they were not dropped, he ran to Kenya Kwanza. You look at Gachagua. How can you guys compare this? This is a crisis we are in Kenya. You know, history will judge us so badly when one day, when history will be written, that Ruto and Gachagua were presidents and vice presidents in Kenya. Because people will, you know, our kids will long go back and say, if there will be statues of Ruto or Gachagua in Kenya, you know, they will be pulling them down. So because of the corruption that they brought to the country.
So, Dr. Makori, yeah, before he responds, you know, politics is about perception. And you know, very many people, just to be realistic, love Gachagua, especially from Mount Kenya region. And Gachagua actually commands a very big cloud of voters from Mount Kenya region. And you know, politics or election is about numbers. So how are you going actually to erase that from their minds? And this is actually what is really troubling so many people. Gachagua has been called a thief. And all the time he says all that is politically instigated. How are you going to wipe that from the minds of Kenyans? Go ahead, Dr. Makori.
You know, this is where we have to be very clear to Kenyans what choices they are making. and we have presented the choice that going forward, Kenya will not be a corrupt, look at this. I'm sorry about this.
No problem.
What I was saying, this is why we have presented these two choices so that Kenyans can see. You either want Kenya to go down the road of being a corruption, failed country, a failed banana country, or you want a country that can be revived with Baba even within 5 years. Things can be turned down within 5 years. I know that one, I'm very sure. Once Baba gets in there, things will be turned down in 5 years and Kenya will be in the right path. You know, as you've said, it's perception. I have already assured you, the votes, you know, when you talk of votes of integrity, people have been looking for integrity. When you count all those votes countrywide with what Martha is bringing, there will be millions of votes. Right now, people are looking at the excitement of what maybe Gachagua is bringing to voters where he comes from in Nyeri. You haven't viewed about, like as I told you, when you count like voters in Mount Kenya, you are not counting about those voters or those women Martha Karua is representing who might be living in Rongai, in Nakuru, who might be living in Mombasa, who might, so if you, when you come to count those votes, at the end of the day, we'll be having the votes.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Bwana Sam.
Yes.
Okay, give your reaction.
Let me respond to that, and I'll respond to both gentlemen here. We have seen it right now on live TV. The propaganda that there's Azimio, because they don't have an agenda that they bring them. We just saw that right now. If the chairman of a chapter can bring propagandas about Western Hotel, I don't know what, things that cannot even be substantiated, and you want to lead in with fear, it's not going to work. Right now, Kenyans have actually woken up. One thing that I thank God is introduction of internet and people having access to information. And that is what Azimio is so worried about, and one of the key things why they're in bed with Uhuru Kenyatta. For them to continue with the fear of, hey, if you're not for us, we're going to frustrate you because we have the state machinery to do that, which number one is a DCI, right? We're going to arrest you, we're going to put you in jail for no reason and bring all these things. And when we go to court, we tell them, present the case. We know very much, it's been a year since Gachagua was arrested. I remember when he was getting arrested, that weekend is when actually we were starting the Minnesota chapter. And he got arrested on a Friday, you get released on Monday, we go to court. The court is not always prepared. When we talk about, oh, corruption, right? Let's bring it home. Let's bring it home to Azimio. They say, oh, we don't deal with corruption. Let's go to KEMSA. This just happened with COVID the other day. Let's not even start going back and saying, oh, we suspect there was this and this and this. Let's start with what we have at the moment. Our people in Kenya have died because of COVID. A lot of people have died. COVID money was given. COVID money was donated by donors to help our people. That money has been misused by the people who are in government. Majority of them, they're in Azimio. They're so close to Baba, right? But Baba, has he commented on this? Did Baba ever want to even talk about KEMSA? If we are rooting out corruption, this would be the right time to come and we say, guess what? The people who are around me, who are all involved in KEMSA, I'm dumping them out, right? What so my brother is forgetting.
You also do the same?
We have done that. Our deputy president is a very fair person. He says, guess what? If you get arrested because of corruption, we have the machinery that's there. We follow the law. You go, you present your case. If the state presents a better case, you're arrested, you're out. Simple as that. We don't have to complicate things. And one thing that my brother needs to also learn, and Kipagende will be a witness of this, is Kenya has also, the institutions in Kenya have also changed. We saw how BBI went through, right? We saw the process that it took. All Kenyans are watching, and they saw there's a legal justice system in Kenya that has been set in place that we want to continue to enhance for it to be fair, fair and free of corruption, like we have seen all around. The other thing too that my two friends are forgetting here, and this Mount Kenya factor. I come from Mount Kenya. I come from Mount Kenya East, to be specific. And Mount Kenya East, number one, they don't even have any votes. We are around 98%. You even saw when Baba was saying
Are you sure you don't have votes?
they don't have votes there.
What do you mean
When
you
you
don't
look,
have
when you even
Azimio
look,
or you
Azimio, they
Oh,
don't
you
have
are saying,
votes.
oh, Zimio doesn't have votes?
In Mount Kenya East, they can't do
Are
anything.
you saying Munya is doing nothing?
You saw Munya when he
Are
was
you saying
said he's going to be
Kiraitu is doing
reappointed.
nothing?
Hold on. When
Come
we
on.
say number one, Kiraitu cannot even speak in his place. He goes to a church, everybody boos him down like they don't want to hear it. He even said, guess what? Wacha munichague hapa chini lakini huku juu, figure out what you want.
Is that what he said?
Yes.
Kiraitu.
Let's go to Munya. Munya was reappointed as Minister for Agriculture the other day. We saw Joho, they were standing. Munya just sat down next to Matiang'i like, what the hell is this? I've been campaigning for this guy. He's been heckled back home, and all you can do is just reappoint me again as a minister. You know, those are the things you're talking about.
Okay.
But the most important thing.
Okay, we are going to that
let
particular
me
question right
say
now.
this: the most important thing that they're not realized is Kenyans have come to a point of view whereby it's upon what I can provide for my family. What is it that I can give for my family? Because in Kenya Kwanza, in as much as yes, we want leadership looking like this and this, how is the common mwananchi affected in their pocket? That's why this bottom-up economic model, people have gotten into it, have held it tight, and they don't want it. They don't want to lose that because they know what they'll be getting. So when you talk about Mount Kenya right now, it's all about what can I get.
Okay, let me ask you a question before.
A
Okay.
little.
Okay.
I want to tell him, you know, the bottom-up economic model that they keep peddling around, for me is pedestrian, because we already have systems in place. If we allow the systems to work, have a corruption-free country, then the bottom-up economic, whatever they're talking about, will definitely be working, because we have the county governments. Yeah, county governments need to be functional. We have, if it is about the funds for small business people that they are talking about, we have the youth fund, we have the women fund, we have Biashara Bank that can support emerging businesses and what I can call the MSME, yeah, down there in the rural areas. And beyond that, on the issues to do with the bottom-up economic model, that is what Raila Odinga talks about, because he talks about that we'll have stipends for struggling families, yeah, and that will go a long way. Beyond just that, we are looking at Baba Care. Baba Care is like the Obama Care that you had here, not an exact equivalent, but we will have affordable medical care. Because I know most of you, each weekend you are in WhatsApp groups where you are contributing for funerals or contributing for people who are in hospitals and stuff like that back home. It is because we don't have a properly functioning medical healthcare, yeah? And that is why when he talks about, they've just taken what we are talking about and twisted it, because that is their way of...
No. We gave our agenda before you guys even started. Let's be truthful here. Yeah. We gave our agenda, our PowerPoints on bottom-up economic before they even came up to start talking about their 10 points Babacare.
Because you know Kakasungura. They just pick up our agenda.
When you didn't have an agenda, how did they pick
polish it? Yeah, they polish it and give it a unique, stylish name, and then you may think it is something bombastic.
Yeah, I remember. Really. Yeah, I remember interviewing Dr. Ndi in one of my weekly shows, and he told me that even the bottom up, I thought it's actually him who brought up that idea of bottom up economy, but he told me no, that is something actually which was already there. Even back in 1997,
yeah.
Back in the 70s, it was actually there. So it has not been enacted.
So
that is what I wanted my friend here to comment about. So the bottom up economy
doesn't understand.
I do.
Like Alice Wahome there.
No. My brother, this is what I've been teaching here. Let me now tell you something. And let's borrow a leaf from the aspirants, right? We understand how economics work in this country. We understand what stipends do to families and to regions and communities. If you look at how the black community has been treated in this country, it's been very unfair, and it's been because of handouts. It's whereby I just don't want to empower you enough for you to do something because I'm dangling this carrot every month that I'm going to give you. 6,000 Kenyan shillings every month for you to depend on that, right? Whereas, for us, we're saying this. In as much as you want the government to function well, in as much as you want the government operations, all those he talked about, youth funds, we know who was in charge of youth funds, how it went down, all these women fund. For those functions to work, we need the common person, the mwananchi, to be well empowered that I am the boss. I can fire you anytime if you're not doing your job. For mwananchi to do that, for us to empower the electorate, for them to have the power to define their government, how they want it done, is they have to be economically stable. And for them to be economically stable, all you're saying is this: whatever you do, what can the government come and help you to do it better and have more money in your pocket so you don't depend on government? If they're talking about Babacare, right? Babacare is not going to run well when the common mwananchi is still starving. Okay?
That's
What
why
you
we
t-
have the
where
6,000. That's
that's
why we need that stipend.
what is 6,000 Kenyan shillings can buy? Bona John, do you know how much unga costs in Kenya? Let's begin with that. Do you know how much fare?
Okay, let him finish. Let him finish.
So
let him
let me.
finish. Let him finish.
This is what we're talking about.
Yes. Let him
6,000 Kenyan shillings cannot feed a family of 4 in a month. Let's be truthful. If you live in Nairobi, for example, what is 6,000 Kenyan shillings going to do to you? Nothing. At a matatu fare for the whole month trying to go to work or look for work, it can't help you. What we're talking about is whatever skill you have, whatever you've been doing, you're a farmer, you have 1 cow, we come to you, we help you to get the best the best food for that cow, the feed for that cow. We make sure you get another one. You have to. Now you help your family as you go around. And for Babacare to be implemented, let me borrow a leaf from Obamacare here. You've seen how Obamacare went. It was a very good idea. When it began, it was a disaster. I am a Democrat, but at the end of the day, it was a disaster. And that's what made Republicans actually go to Senate and sumbua Obama so bad. So all I'm saying is this: we need first to empower the mwananchi economically, and that's the key. The next government, when we form in this next government, the second term of William Ruto, at that time now, we come and say, okay, we have empowered you. You have some money in your pocket. What can we do to continue to improve the government? And this thing I keep saying all the time, we've been talking about maendeleo going forward. Kila wakati maendeleo, tunahitaji maendeleo since 1963. Yes, we do need to build schools. We need to build hospitals, all those things. But it's high time we also empower mwananchi to be able to use this facility. Where I come from, there are no roads, okay? If the next hospital is I don't know where, by the time they get there to get treated, but if they have the money in their pocket, somebody can buy a motorcycle, they can have the village to take somebody to the hospital. That can be even an ambulance to take them to the hospital.
Thank you, Bwana. Thank you, Bwana. Before we give the microphone to, because that is another question now. I know you'll react. This is another question now. Let's actually now relegate our discussion or uplift our discussion a little bit further. Let's now talk about the positions. You guys actually said that your government is not about positions, and your government is for Mama Mboga and borders. So can you? And when we were actually watching what Dr. Ruto was reading out, and what we also got from the Register of Parties, we were shocked. Kenyans were shocked that there was no Mama Mboga there. So is Mama Mboga Akina Wetangula and the rest, or what is actually happening?
So let me tell you this, and this is where my brothers in
okay, go ahead.
And where my brothers in Azimio, they go wrong, and the people in the other side go wrong. When we talk about Mama Mboga, it means we're empowering this Mama Mboga.
Serikali itaundwa na
Mama
Kiswahili.
Mboga.
Serikali itaundwa na Mama Mboga.
Na kuunda serikali
ni
hao watu watakuja wapige kura kwa ile serikali wanataka. That is their government.
What it means, the government ya Mama Mboga.
That's their government.
Okay.
Because when Mama Mboga says, I entrust you, it's like in any chama, in any circle, they have to have leaders. Okay. They come together and say, mimi naona huyu ako qualified to do this. Okay. When you look at what we did, and it was so transparent because they're hiding it, we said, one, we don't want positions, but we do acknowledge that there has to be leadership. Okay? Leadership has to be in place.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
For any government to run, we need leaders. Who are the best suited leaders to do this? All right? Of course, the people who joined Kenya Kwanza, they came, they had the vision. These are the people who have that vision of bottom-up economics. And they're the people who are best suited to execute that. We're not going to go to Azimio and start bringing people over. But what we are saying is this, right? So we, the Mama Mboga, has entrusted us with this government. Once we get in power, what is in it for Mama Mboga? What are we doing for Mama Mboga? Because when Mama Mboga has that economic power, Mama Mboga can tell us, guess what? Kenya Kwanza, you're not doing a good job, you're going home. And you cannot even come and try to bribe or try to do anything for you to get in power. Nothing of the sort. So that's what people are not understanding. Our government is for the local person. And the other thing we say, they wasted a lot of money on BBI because of positions. We know Uhuru Kenyatta still wants to be in power. You can see their
That is a
coalition.
perception. That is a
No,
perception.
but it's not a perception. It is what is written down.
Let's give
Okay.
Dr. Makori a chance.
As I pass that
Yes.
to my
Yes.
as I pass it to
Yes.
Dr. Makori here,
Yes.
all I want you to understand is, number one, we've committed. There's no money being spent on BBI. These positions, we can make sure that every region is represented with our BBI. When it comes to one man, one shilling, that is something that we can implement through parliament, through laws. We don't have to go through changing the constitution for all these things, wasting Kenyan money, wasting people's taxes on things that just matter to people, to the leaders. This is things we can do by a simple stroke of a pen, and it's done.
Thank you. Thank you. Dr. John, go ahead.
I'm just surprised, actually. That's why you saw I even wanted, I really wanted to get this microphone. I think I'm even reevaluating my friendship with my brother here now, because in fact what he has said has really shocked me, because you know, when you talk about Mama Mboga, that their government is going to be for empowering the people economically, and who has really impoverished these people? You know, you have to start from who has impoverished Kenya. The Kimwarel dams, the money that has been all stolen from these, they were meant for these dams. We are paying those loans. There's a lot of inflation in Kenya right now. That's why the impoverished people are suffering. The Mama Mbogas are suffering because of Ruto and his group, Ruto and Gashagua's team. That is why people are suffering on the ground. Look at what the people have exactly done. They have impoverished these people. The money they have taken from all these, stolen from all these dams, from the maize scandals and all that, is the same money they have brought back, the same money they are giving them as tokens to vote for them. This is where we have to be very careful. And secondly, I was even surprised when you say that 6,000 is nothing. Then you are in touch. You are not really in touch with the Mama Mbogas of Kenya. Then you are not really in touch. And I thought maybe sometimes, you know, sometimes I send even someone asks you from Kenya, send me even $10, $25, because they cannot even scratch through with 100 Kenyan shillings. They cannot even have it. This, you know, when you talk about that you want to empower everybody in Kenya, not everybody is going to be given money and start a business, and all of a sudden they will be making profits and everybody in Kenya now will be business people. You will need to cushion some of these people, and there are millions in Kenya right now. That is where the 6,000 is very, very, very important. When you talk about, and you know, when I had our moderator, Mr. Kibwato, Dr. Kibwato, Engineer Kibwato, I mean, talking about and my colleague talking about BBI and the post. This shows you what Kenya Kwanza is. They tell you they are from Mama Mboga. Next, you see how they are stealing money from the same Mama Mboga and giving them as tokens. The same way they were telling you that ours, you know, they are sneaky, as you say. They are very cunning. They come with a sweet language telling us that we are for hustlers. But in the real sense, this is for the elite of thieves. This government will be the government of elite thieves, if you are not aware. So this is the game. This is the game plan they are playing Kenya. So we should be aware of this. So they were marketing themselves as being for wananchi. They have been unmasked now. When they are unmasked now, they retort back that, oh, we are still seeing what Mama Mboga. There is nothing like Mama Mboga.
But the problem is, Kenyans are voting them. I mean, Kenyans love them. Kenyans. There are so many Kenyans actually buying that idea.
That is why I was telling the reason Kenyans are voting them. They made sure that you impoverish this Kenyan. Once you are made them beggars. You know, when you make them beggars, the next thing what do you expect? That is why Raila wants, you know, that's why when I was surprised my colleagues
Raila
said,
has been in
but
government.
if you can see if you can see my colleagues thinking,
Yes.
he's saying that because even in America, because the blacks are given
Stipends.
that has been the kill. That is the kind of reasoning of the Republicans even here, and that is a misconception by so many people. If I had time, I could have gone through to tell him that that is the misconception that has been used.
Okay.
While the factors are so many that are.
Okay. No, you had your time. Let Dr. Honorable Kibagendi actually now come in. Honorable Kibagendi,
You know,
let's now talk about the positions. Yeah, because of time. Now let's talk about the positions first. That is the question on the table. The positions. The One Kenya Alliance said it's a government which they are actually going to form a government for Mama Mboga, by Mama Mboga, na Boda Boda. And when we saw the list of the Mama Mbogas, we actually saw Akina Wetangula,
Mamwenyenye.
Mamwenyenye. Yeah, I call them Mamwenyenye. I'm
Like
not very
Akina
good in
Joho,
Swahili and all
all
that.
this.
And all that.
Lands ministry, you give to Joho.
And then here, Bwana Wetangula and Bwana Moses Mudavadi, they are told to bring in 70% of the Western vote.
Actually, they'll bring more than that, just to let you know.
Is
Wonderful.
this achievable, or this is just a conniving
You know,
way of making with the Western people, the Western province people vote for DP Ruto? Is it achievable? And also
Wonderful.
in Mombasa, is it achievable?
It is possible. But before I go there,
So it's
I wanted-
possible for
it
them
is
to get
possible.
70%.
But I wanted to tell my brother here, you know,
Yes.
the bottom-up economic model is the Al Capone kind of economic schemes, yeah, where they are trying to lie to Kenyans about get-rich schemes that you get 5,000 in another day or two, it will be 10,000, which is not possible. You know, that get-rich quick scheme
Don't
that they are
distort that
propagating
information.
is not real. Yeah,
Honorable Kibageni, Al Capone system, man, my God, you
That's-
have gone extreme.
Yeah,
This is
that
this
is-
is
that
what
is-
we're
that is
talking
extreme.
about. This is
Not
what we're
extreme.
talking about.
I'm
They
just
distort
trying-
information from
I'm just trying to
Mwananchi.
tell you the equivalence. Yeah.
Oh.
So now on the issue of positions,
Yes.
even when Kenya Kwanza was saying it's serikali ya Mama Mboga na mtu wa wheelbarrow and what have you, I don't think they were being. It was not literally. Yeah. They were just trying to demonstrate that it is a government of those that downtrodden will be given attention. But now I want to ask, when have they ever not been given an opportunity? Yeah, because in Azimio, we take everybody on board. Yeah, it is a government of everybody. Whether you are a heavy taxpayer, the middle class and the poor, we want to bring them on board. We are not segregating anybody like they are trying to do, where they are saying it is probably the rich versus the poor, because we have equally a fraction of wealthy people in Kenya. They feel threatened by people who say, hey, now it is time for the poor to lead or to take over. You know, that can bring unnecessary anxiety to the population. It can bring actually what I can call sectoral differences that can bring about unfortunate revolutions in our country. So in terms of positions, Kenya Kwanza are insincere with how they present their issues. On our part, we were being real by presenting, especially to those people that have been instrumental in fighting for Raila Amolo Odinga to become president, in pushing the Azimio agenda. We had to bring them on board and demonstrate that there is no one being left out. We will have everybody on board. And that is why you saw the issues to do with our senior and Governor Oparanya, who has been here before, Joho, and all the leaders that Raila Amolo Odinga spoke about. And that is purely to demonstrate that we are bringing everybody on board, so that it doesn't look like it is just at the top. It is about Mudavadi, it is about Wetangula and Rigathi, just the cream. Ours is a little spread out. So, I know out of what we did, they'll soon do the same, because we are the trendsetters. And
let me respond to this one. This is really burning.
Let him finish. Let him finish.
You know,
Yes.
so as I was telling you, we are focused on transforming the country. And my coming to the diaspora is not just about my agenda and seeking support for my campaign. It is also to request and talk to, I know the bulk of the diasporans here are in Azimio la Umoja. So we want to tell them, please, it is not just about your vote, because the number of people who registered to vote were very few. But you have dependents back home. You have your parents and brothers and sisters back home. Please reach out to them, talk to them, tell them if they vote in Kitutu Chache South, for example, tell them to vote for Anthony Kibagendi as MP and vote for Raila Amolo Odinga as president. And that should happen across the country so that we can bring what we call the liberation that we have been fighting for. This is a Mandela moment.
Thank you.
Let me respond to that.
Yeah,
this is why, number one, Mheshimiwa was in Kenya Kwanza at one point. He was in UDA at that time. And he saw how things work. So when we talk about them being a trendsetter, he's taking whatever we've been having over to them, to Azimio, number one. Number two, let's talk about this Mamamboga government that everybody's talking about. When you look at UDA, we are very democratic. All the leaders who wanted to run, they had an opportunity to do that through our nominations. For the first time in Kenya, we've had a party run nominations like the IBC, like a general election. Actually, IBC needs to copy what we did for them to run elections properly. That's number one. Number two, look at how they're locking up people.
So you want to tell us that, it was very transparent that they were not...
We were very transparent about our elections. And issues that showed up...
What was happening
that's what I'm saying.
And all
that's
that.
what I'm saying.
So
there
IBC should copy that?
No. You should understand that in every elections we have hiccups that come up. How do you handle those hiccups?
Okay,
how do you handle those hiccups? We had a tribunal that sorted those issues out.
But I also saw the ODM people, the Azimio people also had a tribunal.
They had a tribunal, but let me ask you, my friend,
yes.
With the tribunal, when they took this...
we had so many complaints in the Azimio.
Yes, we did have a lot of complaints in Azimio, even versus Kenya Kwanza.
No, what I'm actually trying to say, I'm not defending any team. What I'm actually saying that they also had their
process. They had their process,
yes.
But look at how the process worked. For the first time in Kenya, how we ran through our elections, right? Look at how Kenya Kwanza handled everything. Let's even go to this Mamamboga they're talking about.
Yes.
When you're locking out leaders because of zoning, why don't you let the people have the power to elect their leaders? You're coming with zoning and saying, guess what? You, Mr. Wanyoni, number one, you're not even going to let you run. You know, you're the most popular candidate, all right? But we're not going to let you run because this Uhuru thing, let's put this other guy coming through. No.
Yes.
Now, why lock people out? No. Why lock people out? Let everybody, if they got nominated by their party,
yes,
let them go to the general election. Let the Mamambogas, let the Wananchi choose their leaders. You cannot impose leaders on people, and that's what you're trying to liberate Kenya from.
They did this. Probably I need to mention to him, he's not aware.
No. What we did,
just on that, the zoning is talking about is equivalent to what they were doing. They tell Malala, hey, Halwale, you go for Senate, Malala come for governor, and so go back to MP, like that. It is just equivalent.
It's not equivalent,
now,
my friend.
In Nairobi, the gubernatorial candidate was Margaret Wanjiru,
Yes.
there was Sakaja. So they spoke and kind of shared those positions.
Can we talk about the
it is just equivalent.
What you guys have done?
You guys, because of time.
Let me explain this one.
Because of time.
We don't have much time, but
yeah,
this one,
you have 30 seconds.
Yes,
please.
in 30 seconds. All
Yes.
I'm saying is you can see the leadership way from the beginning, way from nomination, how we handle things, how we go through the processes, right? We're even saying all our coalition partners who are coming in, and you guys have candidates, run those candidates. That's okay. If they cannot agree to a consensus and everybody feels it's good, let Mwananchi decide. Okay? We are not going to lock you out, yet you're a popular candidate because we want to place this other partner of coalition. When they're coming in, we told them it's for the willing and it's democratic. We have shown our things out in the open. Do you even know what their coalition agreement is? Even him, he doesn't know what's in that coalition.
Know, but we cannot unpack it.
No, we're just talking about that. He doesn't know what's in his coalition. I know what's in our coalition. Mama Mboga knows what
You are
knows
assuming
what
that
is
I don't know.
No, I'm just saying, Mama Mboga doesn't know, because he doesn't even know. If their coalition partners don't know,
That is really
if the
30
partners
seconds.
don't
So
know,
I saw, yeah,
if the party-
Bwana Ireri, I saw one. I mean, Dr. Mutua complained that he never saw that the pact, but when he was actually tasked by one of our media houses in Kenya, he actually he told them that he saw those pacts and
So-
he was complaining. So
No, what
when
he
some
said,
people say
what
that
he
the-
said, no,
yes.
what he said is the document that we signed initially,
Mhm.
we do believe is not the document that was filed.
What do you
and
mean
what
you
they're
don't
saying,
believe?
that's what he said. He doesn't believe. It's not me.
But he
it's
was
him.
taken to
But
task and,
he was. That's
he
why
could
we
not-
took it to task.
You even
You see,
asked
no,
Kapono,
no.
You have.
saying he doesn't know what was in
No,
what
no,
was
no, no.
deposited by Kwanzaa was not
It,
what
it
was-
is there because it's transparent.
Thank
It's been
you.
in the
You are-
media
you are-
house.
Thank you.
No,
Thank
it's
you.
been in
Thank
the
you.
media houses.
Thank you.
Everybody
Thank
has
you.
seen it.
Thank you.
So
Thank you. Because of time, let me give Dr. Makori a chance to make his closing statement. Then we'll definitely have to come back and continue with this particular
I'll
discussion.
also have my closing.
Yeah.
We'll all
You'll get. Everybody.
Thank you
everybody.
so much. I know
Yes.
I know we have taken much of your time, but
Yes.
thank you, my fellow Kenyans. Mine is going to be very short, and I think these elections are very clear. The differences are clear. I know you have already made your mind, which is I know very well that we have Baba the Fifth in Awezekana. So I don't want to talk about the other side. You know, when I heard the other day about Wananda Kukata Miti, it was not it was like a joke, but now it's a reality. So Kukata Miti itaanza mapema sana. So my colleague, be prepared to be the official position when, in these coming elections. And I pray for our incoming president, Baba Raila Molo Odinga, with the running mate, Martha Karua. Now we have Rarua, which is our movement that is current at the moment. So let's pray for them so that they can be in good health as they assume office. And for those who are in the diaspora at the moment, I have Anthony Kibagendi currently in Minnesota. We'll be having a big event for the youths for Azimio and for his support this coming Saturday. Please come and join us so that we can give that kumpatia mkono ama kumpatia mguu as he goes back to Kenya. Otherwise, thanks so much for hosting us. It's been a good moment in KDR TV. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Bwana Kibagendi, go ahead.
Thank you.
We'll give you for the last. I mean, you'll take the last shot. Go
I'm
ahead.
the one outdone it. But that's
No,
good.
no.
I thought you already did.
No, that was not my closing statement.
Just
Yes, this is my closing statement.
just 1 minute.
Yeah, so all I can say is this. The first message is to diasporans. Diasporans, we know what it is to live in countries that are abroad. We've seen how economics work. We know how government should be done, how the government for the people should be run. So we are urging our diasporans to continue pushing. We know our diasporans issues as well that are here. And I'm not just saying just get a help desk. I'm saying that we need a government that can put it in writing that they're going to care about our diasporan issues. Because my belief is we're going to be County 048, and that's going to happen in Kenya Kwanza. The other thing, too, I'm also going to say is people back home, you have a clear choice. Do you need transparency, or you need somewhere where everything is hidden from you? You can see how we can govern by how we treat our people, how we are democratic when it comes to our elections, how we are democratic in coming to make sure that everybody has a fair chance. So choose that. We have seen what it has happened before when people go to boardrooms just to appoint people. When they go in boardrooms and make you sign documents, you don't even know what you signed the next day. And you ask for your document, you can't even get them. So how democratic is this government going to be? They have been tested. Raila has been there in government. Ruto has been there in government. We have clear choices to see who is there for the common person. Make your choice wisely, because choices have consequences. Thank you.
Thank you. Mheshimiwa, go ahead.
Thank you. I think I'll introduce myself again. I'm
Yes.
Anthony Kibagendi.
Yes.
I'm an aspirant for the Kitutu Chache South parliamentary seat in the Azimio la Umoja Coalition, ODM party. And I'm seeking support, of course, from within the constituency to be elected, and even beyond here in the diaspora. I'm seeking support to aid me to be able to run my campaign more efficiently and, of course, win. And my win is not just for me. We want to try and bring a paradigm shift in the way the leadership of constituencies is done. And we are looking forward to meeting our friends on Saturday, like my chairman here has said. We'll be able to send out the link and the address to where we'll be meeting. And of course, we'll have nyama choma over there. So we are looking forward to meeting our people. Beyond that, I would like to urge the diasporans, kindly reach out to your families, reach out to your friends, reach out to your colleagues, let them vote. Ask them to vote for Azimio la Umoja. This is a Mandela moment, and let us try and ensure that Raila Amolo Odinga gets elected as the 5th president of the Republic. I know and respect Honorable William Samoei Ruto. His time will come. He's still got all the time. He's still got time to learn. And I believe we are going to form the next government. And I can tell you, when we form government, we will not leave them out, because they have some ideas that we can incorporate into our economic plan to be able to transform Kenya. Thank you for inviting me again here. And I believe when I get elected in August, a few months or later, probably after your winter, that is what I fear most, I'll come back here to appreciate and to give thanks, or even actually do the interview back home, because I realized you have the machinery, you have personnel back home. We can do an interview there so that I'm able to also appreciate the people who have continually supported me and those who have continually supported Raila Amolo Odinga. We are certain Kenya Kwanza will get like 10 to 15% of the diaspora vote, but we have the majority of the people here supporting Raila Amolo Odinga. So thank you so much, and we are looking forward. Oh, the other thing I would like to, that I mentioned earlier, is that I like the way diasporans are doing politics with decorum. Yeah, these two gentlemen here are friends beyond just being in this studio.
Sure.
They live in the same state, and they meet each other, and they talk about issues that are affecting them, and they talk about issues that are affecting us back home, and they respect each other. So what we are trying to say is we need to emulate the kind of decorum that you have here, respect for each other's opinion, and even urge our young people back home, do not accept to be used to throw stones, to heckle other leaders. If you don't like someone coming to your neighborhood or to your area to campaign, just stay home and watch TV or watch soccer or play something, play games or read. And when your leader comes to your neighborhood, then you can turn up and listen to them. So let's not accept to be used to belittle, to heckle, or to throw stones at other leaders that we do not agree with. And for that, I give the diasporans heckle. And thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you very much again for having a wonderful discussion, you three gentlemen. Honorable Kibagendi, we pray for you to win. And you know, I've received so many messages here that you have got other competitors on the ground. We have even a competitor from Texas. I didn't know that there's a competitor from Texas.
There are two from Texas.
Yeah, they are really saying they are going to beat you. So
there's a Swahili saying that says, Fimbo ya mbali hayui nyoka.
So the internet was actually lit. So
actually, I did mention to you,
yes,
the link that you shared,
yes,
has the highest number of shares,
yes,
of all,
yes,
the interviews you've had.
Wonderful.
66 shares. That is a big
wonderful
viewership.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Honorable Kibagendi. Let's hope the best candidate actually wins, and you have said you are the best candidate. Fimbo ya nyoka hui, whatever.
Fimbo ya mbali hayui nyoka.
Okay, I fail in Swahili, so no problem. But thank you once again. We welcome you next time. Yeah, we'll be doing even debates from back home. I mean, from Kenya.
Yeah.
We'll be arranging for gubernatorial debates. We're also planning to have even a presidential debate back in Kenya, because we have the technology, we have the equipment down there. So we are trying to ensure that our people make the right choices. If it's UDA, if it's Kenya Kwanza, if it's Azimio, let the best team win, but based on wananchi getting the right information and making the right decision to ensure Kenya move forward. Thank you very much. May God bless you. Till next time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.